time is 15:84. Off the qualified hour, the Glendale Oxygen Alliance Radiators Row 3, Lonnie Vaughn, Canton, Ohio. Second time, Lonnie Vaughn of 15:76. 15.76 on Lonnie Vaughn, the O3 machine. Okay, the qualified hour of Ohio Independent Creations number 14. Alabama driven by Larry Gill. Second time of 16:29, 16.29 on Larry Gill in the Floating Creations.
It's going.
Green Grand Prix.
Oh. Yeah, well, I checked up. Okay. Qualifier so far. Is that right? Wow! How you doing?
First time on Kansas is a 16:04, 16.04. Second time is 16:11, 16.11. The qualified hour in the Bob Dollar sales, all first supplies, Ryan Ford won at Canton, Ohio last night, feature winner at Kansas Motor Speedway. Second time of 15:72, 15.7. Okay, first race of the season. This guy won the big feature out here. Rich Roy out of Canton, Ohio.
My time went crazy when he blew up the other night when he quit running.
Second time of 15:67, 15.67 on Rich Roll in the number 7 car out of Canton, Ohio. Back to qualify now on a New Philadelphia, Ohio, the number 78 car of Larry McMillan.
Go Larry.
White, Brad, white. Never mind, Brad. He ain't gonna get none. Clock jammed up a little bit there on Larry McMillan. We'll have to re-qualify Larry.
Get away from me, bug. Oh, the bee, get the heck out of here.
Okay, Larry's going to turn the bomb or the clock jamming up a little bit there, and then Larry spit out and we'll do it all over again. First time on Larry McMillan, 16.74, 16.74. Second time of 17.22, 17.22. Okay, on the track to qualify now, and Rick pit stop. Melton Power Machine, Scott Baker out of Fairlawn, Ohio. Scott picking up a feature winner. First time of 15:51. Second time, a lot better of 15:30, 15.30 on Scott Baker. Okay, now to qualify on track out of Canton, Ohio, in the Genesee here, Sean Racing Universe, the number 12 car of Sean Shaw. 1568, 15.68. On the track to qualify now in the Holiday Bowl Racing Machine, the number 22 car, Mid-Vid, Ohio. Second time of 16:46, 16.46 on Chuck Surratt. On the track to qualify now, last week's feature winner at Mid-Vid, the number 85, champion, Filipino. First time on Filipino, 15.85, 15.85. Second time. Second time, 15.77, 15.77. On the track to qualify now, our Louisville, Ohio, the number 2 car of Canada.
That mini driver? Yeah. What's that, buddy?
Second time of 16:20, 16.20. Very consistent times on Dan Midday out of Louisville, Ohio.
I got it. The old Bolt. You ain't missed too many of them, buddy. Barnes, Lonnie Vaughn, Larry Gill.
Larry Gill had a 1579, 1620.
1629 and 15 what?
1570.
On the track to qualify now in the number 301 out of Canton, Ohio. Second time, limiter 1628, 16.28. Okay, we'll start out with the helmet dash in each division. In the late model division, you'll see the number 28 of Brian Volk, number 70 Mark Malkett, number 7 Rich Rohr, and number 4, our fastest qualifier tonight, Scott Baker. Sports stock will consist of the number 45 car of Ed Singhaus, number 670 Roger Leonard, the number 24 car of Glenn Jewell, and the number 6 car of Harold Poole. In the street stock division, the dash will consist of number 39, Kevin Merrick, number 11, Bobby Knight, number 29, Bill West, and the number 7 car of Gene Pringle. Don't forget, next week we'll be qualifying at 5:15 and start racing at 7:30. We'll go back to our normal, 7 o'clock, our normal schedule. I got all this stuff memorized, folks. Qualifying at 5:15, racing at 7 o'clock. Next Saturday night here at Mid-Vid. We'll go. Will be the Miller Highlight Memorial Championship race. 50 laps, late model race, $1,000 to win. And we'll have a 50 lap sports stock race, $400 to win. And next week we'll start a $1,000 to win weekly show here at Mid-Vid in the late model division.
I don't want to. I would never make you. I wouldn't even think of it. I value my life too much. Don't have it.
Okay, this is our top division here at Mid-Vid.
Go ahead.
Number 28.
Go ahead, hit it.
Miles Dollar Sales, all parts, Carolina Racing Machine, 28 cars, 9 goes out of can. Alongside of Robert Southwood, number 7, Miller American, Edgar Beverage Machine of Rich Roar, and the pit stop, Rick's Auto Field Machine of Scott Baker.
Okay, it's super late model dash time. Top 4 qualifiers in this division, the late model division. 4th fastest qualifier, number 28, Brian Bolt.
These guys are exempt from the black flag only by virtue of taking the helmet dash.
3rd fastest qualifier, number 70, Mark Malquit. 2nd fastest qualifier, number 7, Rich Rohr. Your top qualifier tonight, number 4, Scott Baker. Baker had the fast time tonight of 15:30. One more parade. Brian Volk's fastest time was 15:72. Mark Malquit's fastest time was 15:68. Rich Rohr's fastest time was 15:67, and like I said, Scott Baker's fastest time was 15:30. Here we go. Must be awful loose up there. To turn number 3 and 4. That'll take a few more laps to get that oil dry, soaked in. Gonna let him run a few laps, I believe, to get that dry down the track. Bunched up. Should be getting a green next time by. We got a green. Brian Bolt Bolt, Mark Malcolm, Rich Rohr, Scott Baker. Out of turn number 2, down the back stretch, it's Brian Bolt. The number 28 car, Mark Malcolm, 70 right alongside. Clean lap 1 went to Brian Bolt. Just can't quite get it. Brian Bolt goes high. Out of 4. White flag is out. Coming out of turn number 2, Mark Malcolm from Strasburg takes over the lead. Rich Rohr dives down the inside. It's Mark Malcolm, Rich Rohr, Brian Bolt, and Scott Baker.
Okay, the winner of the late model dash, the number 70 car, Mark Malcolm.
Mark Malcolm, Strasburg, Ohio, your late model dash winner, May 22nd, 1988.
Speedway with 85 checkered flags. Bill Whitaker holding down the number 1 on this list with 142, and Rich Rohr with 130. That was at the beginning of this year. So when we update this, Rich Rohr fast closing in on Bill Whitaker for being the winningest driver at Midvale Speedway. And the number 3 driver, the retired driver, is Tony Diana with 119 checkered flags here at Midvale Speedway. Okay, this is our sports stop dash. 4 laps, 4 fast, qualifies their division.
All right, sports stock dash 45, Ed Singhas on the outside of him. Roger Liner is 670. Number 24 is Glenn Jewell, your top qualifier. Harold Cole at number 6. Ed Singhas, Roger Liner, side by side, come out turn 4. Ed Singhas, Glenn Jewell moving to that second spot on the inside, trying to get by Liner for second. And then Harold Cool bringing in the rear. Down the backstretch. It's still Ed Singhas, Glenn Jewell now strong in second. White flag. Sound like Ed's missing a little bit. Glenn Jewell on the outside, going for that lead. Can he bring her down? It's gonna be close. I think Ed Singhas. Ed Singhas, Glenn Jewell.
Glenn Jewell, late figure race, but Ed Singhas, they will hold him off by about a foot there at the finish line. A nice round of applause for Eddie Singhas, Tippecanoe, Ohio.
That's from Tippecanoe, Ohio. First checker flag of the year, I believe, for Ed. Doing a fine job this year.
Okay, this will be the street stock dash, same rules as the other 2 races. The number 39 of Kevin Barry, number 21 of track record holder in this division, Bill West. The number 11 car, Friday night, and a fast qualifier in the street stock division tonight, the number 7 car, Gene Pringle. Okay, we'll switch your cars around, get in the right order, then we're ready to go. You're in it. 3 stops out today.
Better than most people out here.
Don't forget the Big 5 finish. $200 tonight. That's nobody interested. We'll go to $1,000 starting next week. It's the Big 5 finish.
Who's at 39? Kevin Merrick at 39. Bobby Knight in 11, Bill West in 21, and Gene Pringle in 7. Bill West in 2nd. On the inside, challenge for that lead. Pringle in 3rd, Bobby Knight in 4th. Kevin Merrick, I believe, is at 39. First time here this year. High in number 2 corner, Bill West trying down the inside, just can't get enough horsepower to catch him on the straight. Pringle high in turn number 4. White flag out by Eddie Warmack. Kevin Merrick, can he hold on to that lead? Into turn number 3 is still Kevin Merrick at number 39. Out of number 4. Your winner, Kevin Merrick. Pringle gets 2nd. Then Bill West, and then Bobby Knight.
Gene Pringle in the number 2 position. Number 3 going to Bill West. And Bobby Knight bringing in the number 4 position.
You pass the money out? Yes, sir.
Okay, first night out for this car, doing a nice job in the Atwood Auto number 39, Kevin Merrick.
Go all the way around, John. Get some more tape.
And don't forget some of our weekly sponsors here, Midvale Speedway. This is the push to the world Ohio.
All right, Paul Barnes, 90. Larry McMillan, 78. Sean Shaw, 12. Chuckser at 22. Bill Volk, 301. Dan Mitty at number 2. Kenny Stevens at 21. Bill slid a couple times out there tonight in hot laps and going into number 2 corner during hot laps earlier this evening. Complete restart.
Don't forget Paris Chevrolet of Philadelphia. Farmers Smith Market of New Philadelphia. Quality fruit, vegetables, cold cuts, and cheeses. Public Insurance Agency of Janae Cotton. Your insurance, Janae Cotton, for all your insurance needs and house cars and so forth. Ezra Beverage of Kansas. Racing time is Miller time.
Shaw down the inside. Oh! Paul Barnes, Larry McMillan coming together. Be another total restart. Shaw got down the inside.
Okay, Larry McMillan and Paul Barnes get hooked up there next number 2 car, so we'll have another complete restart.
Another complete restart.
Okay. What do we have? You got 9, I had 10, okay?
Ready? That's all gift certificate from Elvis Restaurant. Okay, we're going to try this one more time here. They have to have one complete lap in.
Larry McMillan out of the lead. Chuck Surratt challenging on the outside for that second spot. Dan Midday moving up. Paul Barr still holds down second, though. Dan Midday third. John Shaw, Kenny Stevens, Chuck Surratt, and Bill Volk. Dan Midday going hard into turn number 1 and 2. Bumps Larry McMillan off the track. Sean Shaw second. Kenny Stevens moved up to third. And Paul Barnes, Bill Volk, Chuck Surratt halfway that time by. Kenny Stevens dives down the inside, coming out of turn number 2. Bringing out a yellow flag.
Okay, yellow flag coming out from Paul Barnes. That's number 1 corner. We're then trying to avoid him. Gets the tire. Number 3 and 1 corner.
Larry McMillan and Bill Volk have gone to the pit. Dan Midday, Kenny Stevens, John Shaw, Chuck Surratt, and Paul Barnes left as Eddie throws the green. Kenny Stevens trying to take over that first spot. Right on, Dan Midday's bumper. They bump coming out of turn number 2. Kenny Stevens keep her low. This time, Midday cuts him off. Turn number 4, white flag out this time by. Kenny Stevens. And the winner is Dan Midday, Kenny Stevens, Sean Shaw, Paul Barnes, and Chuck Surratt.
This year, the number 2 car, Danny Midday. 21, Kenny Stevens coming in at number 2 position. out for Danny Ray. Was a regular field of the Camp Motor Speedway on Saturday night. Okay, let's do the second late model race. On pole number 14, Golden Creation car of Larry Hill. Off out of last week's feature winner at Midvale. The number 85 Snap-on full car.
All right. Fast heat in the late model division. Number 14, Larry Gill. On the outside, number 85, Phil Vino. Back on the inside, number 03, Lonnie Vaughn. Outside of him, number 28, Brian Volk. Back on the inside, number 70, Mark Malkwood. On the outside of him, number 7, Rich Rohr, the top qualifier tonight. Scott Baker, and number 4. We got green. Leading lap 1. Lonnie Vaughn is second. Brian Volk inching his way in that third spot. Rich Rohr going to the pit. Going on the outside of Larry Gill. Halfway. Got Larry Gill, Lonnie Vaughn, Bill Volk, Mark Michael, Scott Baker, Phil Vino. Brian Volk, Mark Michael hitting each other. Lonnie Vaughn still holding down second. Mark Malkwood now in the third. Brian Volk pulling off the pace. Tell me you got this. Whole thing.
Okay, the 03 and the number 14 car coming to go to that number 1 corner, Lonnie Vaughn leading the racetrack with a right rear flat tire. And Larry Gill requiring assistance from the Roy King towing service. And the number 85 car, Phil Vino.
All right, Mark Malkwood, Scott Baker, and Lonnie Vaughn. Mark Malkwood, Scott Baker could be playing with him a little bit. Like it, Mark. Scott does have the fastest time tonight. This could be a prelude to the night's feature. Mark Malkwood, Scott Baker, Phil Vino.
Okay, the Mark Malkwood, Scott Baker, Phil Vino in the late model heat race. Mark moving up another notch on that list of all-time winners at Midvale Speedway. Mark currently the number 5 all-time winner.
Gary Smith, Bear Schwartz, Mike Himes, Gary Meither, Schweitzer and 10, Smith, Joe Nye, and Tenarelli. Schwartz holding down third. Ed McLean in 4.43, back there in 5th spot. Gary Smith having a pretty good year, way out in front. Down the inside, getting past Ed McLean for 5th spot. You got Gary Smith, Mike Hines, Bear Schwartz, Gary Miser, Farmer Smith, Joe Nye, Ed McLean, and Rich Schweitzer. Bear Schwartz down the inside, challenging that 2nd spot. Turn number 4, he's got it. Gary Smith, Bear Schwartz, Dave Hines, Gary Miser, Joe Nye, Farmer Smith, Rich Schweitzer, Ed McLean. White flag coming out this time for Gary Smith. Gary's having, I think he slowed way down when he crossed that line. Turn number 4, Gary Smith, Bear Schwartz, Mike Hines. There's a battle out there for 4th, 5th, 6th spot between Farmer Smith, Gary Miser, Joe Nye, then Rich Schweitzer and Ed McLean. And bring up last, John Tenorelli. But your winner tonight's slow heat in the sports stock division, Gary Smith out of New Philadelphia, Ohio, number 33.
Midvale, and snap on through away from machine to number 32 car. Gary Smith out of New Philadelphia.
I'm talking to Schweitzer, Robert over there. I had told him, boy, I'm not here for the street. You're right, that honey's coming up here. Yeah. You got a copy of that yet? You got a copy of that? Took 2 up the other day. Okay. Oh. Sorry.
Nice round of applause for Gary Smith. Good job. Well done. Okay, 2nd heat race on track now. Number 32, Phil Bittinger. Number 88, White Buck Dawson. Number 6.
All right, time for the next heat. On the outside, on the inside, number 32, Bill Bittinger. On the outside of him is Mike Dawson, 88. We got agreed. 66, Mark McGrath, the in-car camera, Wes Galbraith, number 98. Then A.J. Diano, 36. Ed Singhaus, 45. 670, Roger Leinert, 6. Harold Cool, your top qualifier, Glenn Jewell. As Bill Bittinger takes the lead out turn number 4. The winningest driver here at Midvale Speedway. Mark McGrath, Mike Dawson, Wes Galbraith, A.J. Diano, Roger Leinert, Harold Cole, Glenn Jewell, Ed Singhaus. It's still Bill Bittinger, number 32. Then Mark McGrath in 66. Wes Galbraith in number 98 in 3rd. And Mike Dawson. A.J. Diano. Glenn Jewell. And Ed Singhas. White flag coming out this time by for Bill Whitaker out of turn number 4. Gets the white flag. Big battle back here for 5th between Harold Cole and A.J. Diano down the backstretch into turn number 3. It's Bill Whitaker out of 4. Here comes your winner. Bill Whitaker, Mark McGrath, Wes Halbrath, Mike Dawson, Harold Cole, Roger Leonard, A.J. Dino, Glenn Jewell, and Ed Singhas. But there's your winningest driver at Midvale Speedway.
Winningest driver, and we'll go to Midvale Speedway.
Bill Whitaker.
Ohio, the Haas Body Shop Racing Machine of Wild Bill Whitaker. Okay, a nice round of applause for Bill Whitaker. As of the end of the 1987 season, Bill has won 142 checkered flags here at Midvale.
One T has been black flag.
Betty having all kinds of problems earlier this evening trying to get that car qualified, all kinds of oil leaks. Apparently getting it all straightened up, coming out here at Victor in a sports street stock heat race. Of course, the point fun in this street stock. Crystal. Okay, second. Street stop race. Starting side by side. Ready and Fister in the number 1 car. Jim McCormick. Alongside with Jim Fister and number 10 car. Lois. Hey, John. Number 24, Mac Ribble. Number 39, Kevin Murray. Number 11, Tommy Knight. Number 21, Bill West. Number 7 is Gene Pringle. And number 52, one of the Elkins boys. Number 52 machine. Apparently, if you watch that car going to the corner of the back end, jump all over the place, and a little bit of shock problem on that car. I'm sure them Elkins brothers get that thing over the pits and get it straightened out for that feature event.
We'll set it off.
Holding down that point system, Melissa chasing him in that number 2 position. Okay, the winner of the street stock, he raced the number 1 car, Jim McCormick. Nice round of applause for Jim McCormick and the M&M Racing Chevelle.
bunch up sign. Number 90, Paul Barnes. Then number 12, Sean Shaw. Number 2, Dan Midday. 21, Kenny Stevens. 85, Phil Vito. 03, Lonnie Vaughn. 70, Mark Malcolm. 7, Rich Rohr. And 4, Scott Baker. We got a green. Kenny Stevens gets by Dan Midday. He's out. Lonnie Vaughn trying to get down the inside of Phil Vito. Phil's out. Sean Shaw is eliminated. Paul Barnes still your leader. Kenny Stevens trying to get down on the inside. Him can't quite do it. Lonnie Vaughn. Kenny Stevens is eliminated. Mark Malcolm is eliminated. Lonnie Vaughn, Rich Rohr, and Scott Baker. Lonnie Vaughn, Rich Rohr, Scott Baker, 3 cars left. Halfway coming up this time by, halfway for Lonnie Vaughn. Lonnie Vaughn still holding Rich back. Scott Baker back here in 3rd. Rich right on it. White flag out this time by for Lonnie Vaughn, Canton, Ohio in 03.
Scott Baker.
Into turn number 3, out of 4 is going to be Lonnie Vaughn, Rich Rohr, and Scott Baker. Lonnie Vaughn, Canton, Ohio, your pursuit winner tonight in the late model division.
Auction 03 racing machine of Lonnie Vaughn. This is a Chrysler-powered Camaro. Lonnie Vaughn out of Canton, Ohio. Okay, this will be short stop for you. Fast 10 cars in the division. The fastest car number 6 starting on the back. So introduce number 10 car, Rich Schweitzer.
All right, Sports Stock pursuit time number 10, Rich Schweitzer. 7 up, Farmer Smith. 32, Bill Bittaker. Number 88, Mike Dawson. 66, Mark McGrath. 98, Wes Galbraith. 36, AJ Diano. 45, Ed Singhaus. 670, Roger Leinert. And number 6, Harold Cool. eliminated. Rich Schweitzer, the number 10, your leader. Clean lap number 1. Schweitzer, Farmer Smith, Bill Bittaker, Mark McGrath, Wes Galbraith, A.J. Diano, Ed Singhaus, Harold Cole, Roger Liner, battle out there. Harold on the inside, Roger on the outside. Time by, halfway. Schweitzer, your leader, Farmer Smith, then Bill Bittaker, Mark McGrath, Wes Galbraith, A.J. Diano, Ed Singhaus, and Harold Cole. Mark McGrath spinning out in turn number 1. Bringing out a yellow. Yellow flag will come out.
Back in, coming around, so we're after the eliminated this event. Schweitzer still holding on to that lead.
You're trying to put him on it. You got it going on and on.
Okay, look these cars over. So this will be the division we pick. Go to the pick tie finish tonight. In pick the way they come across the finish line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You go home $200 richer. And next week, first book for $1,000.
Rich Schweitzer going to bring him in. We got to agree. Wes Galbraith trying to go a little high. Can't get by Bill Bittaker. Harold Cole trying to eliminate Ed Singhaus. Can't do it yet. Now Ed's eliminated. Ed is out. 6 cars left. White flag for Rich Schweitzer. Here comes your winner, Rich Schweitzer, Farmer Smith, Bill Bittaker, Wes Galbraith, A.J. Diano, and Harold Cole. Rich Schweitzer having a great year so far.
Okay, he started up there, and he finished up there, held on. He had him on the clock, he never went over his time. And the BH1 Spray Racing Machine, number 10 car, Rick Schweitzer. Nice round of applause for Rick Schweitzer.
originally from Barnhill. Drove many years in his own car, but this year and last year he's driving for Larry Clay in number 10. Rich's old number was 84. Having a fine season in Larry Clay's ride.
Don't forget, folks, okay. We'll go 41 number 1, number 10, Melissa Road, 24 Mac Rebel, 1939, and Kevin Murray, number 1, Regular, 10 laps, if you will, pass through all 8 minutes. Okay, a nice round of applause for Jim McCormick holding off the hard charges of Gene Pringle.
Second place.
Okay, we're going to take a short 15-minute intermission here, and we'll be right back. Don't forget, I'll get your pick 5 finish out there in that brown container before we drop the green flag on it. Sports Talk features, and go home $200 richer. Hey, we have a couple people in the audience tonight, a Mr. Bill Oliver and a Jim Albrecht.
Okay, you're on. You want the date real quick? Huh?
I put that on it again.
say you want to ask McLean or number 30 yet? Get him. You get a chance to ask Mitty, we'll ask Mitty next week. Okay. Okay, it's feature time here at Midvale Speedway, May 22nd, 1988. Looks like on the pole will be number 22, Chuck Surratt. On the outside of him, number 301, Bill Volk. Back on the inside, number 2, Dan Minnie. Number 21, Kenny Stevens. Next row back, number 85, Bill Vito. On the outside of him, Lonnie Vaughn. Next row back, number 70, Mark Malquit. On the outside of him, number 77, Rich Rohr. Back on the inside, the top qualifier tonight. I believe he had a 15:30 from Fairlawn, Ohio, Scott Baker. On the outside of him will be number 78, Larry McMillan. Next row back, number 12, Sean Shaw. On the outside of him, Paul Barnes at number 90. Next row back will be number 14, Larry Gill. On the outside of him, taking scratch, will be Brian Volk. All right, Eddie Warback giving the bunch up sign. Next time by, though, we'll be having the green. If everything goes okay, Chuck Surratt, Bill Volk will bring them in. They will set the pace tonight in the feature event in the late model division here at Midvale Speedway. All right, one more parade. Eddie giving it one more parade. Doesn't like the lineup. One more parade. Okay, we got a green. Chuck Surratt out in front. Please tell me you got it.
Number 2, number 301, 2178, and number 3 corners. So this will be a complete restart.
Like Kenny Stevens might be having the worst end of the deal up there. He might have, I don't know for sure. Maybe Dan Mitty might have got some damage too.
How many cars were in that?
1, 2. I believe 5 altogether were involved. Kenny Stevens, Bill Volk, Dan Mitty, Lonnie Vaughn, Larry McMillan, and Rich Rohr. That's more than 5. Lonnie Vaughn moving backwards. Be a total restart. Of course, the lineup will be shuffled around a little bit if any of these cars cannot continue. Okay. Sorry about that.
You all right?
Yeah. Just shut off.
Huh?
So he just shut off. Kenny had really nowhere to go.
Richie, I love number 7. Richie Rohr.
Josh used the lineup a little bit. Chuck Surratt still will be on the pole, though. Outside of him will be number 2, Dan Midday. Back on the inside, 85, Phil Vino. 03, Lonnie Vaughn. Next row back, Mark Malquit, number 70. On the outside of him, number 7, Rich Rohr. Then next row back will be Scott Baker, Paul Barnes. Next row back should be Sean Shaw and Larry McMillan and Larry Gill in 14. Feature. Complete restart. Made it back out. Phil Vino down the inside. Chuck Surratt, Mark Malquit, Lonnie Vaughn, Scott Baker, Rich Rohr in there. Dan Midday going hard. He's all right. Mark Malquit. Scott Baker, Phil Vino, Lonnie Vaughn, Rich Rohr, Chuck Surratt, Sean Shaw, Larry Gill, Dan Midday, Paul Barnes, Kenny Stevens, and Larry McMillan. Lonnie Vaughn moving on the inside, he's got third spot. Phil Vino back to 5th. Mark Malquit, Charlottesville, Ohio. Scott Baker from Fairlawn, Ohio. Battle right there for first. Sean Shaw moving into 6th spot. Sean Shaw, Chuck Surratt, Larry Gill, Kenny Stevens, and Dan Midday. Mark Malquit, Scott Baker, 1, 2. Then Lonnie Vaughn, Rich Rohr, and Phil Vino. Larry Gill moving up that 6th spot. Kenny Stevens moving to 7th. Malquit, Scott Baker. lap yet. Chuck Surratt pulls into the pit. Lonnie Vaughn, Rich Rohr, battle after that third spot. Rich Rohr going high. Scott Baker, Rich Rohr, Lonnie Vaughn, Bill Vino, Larry Gill, and Kenny Stevens. Four different nights of racing here in Midvale and four different late model feature winners.
At number 75, Southern Ohio, Mark Southwest. First different winner in 4 weeks here at Midvale Speedway. Scott Baker in runner-up spot. And number 3 going to Rich Rohr out of Canton, Ohio. The number 4 spot going to Lonnie Vaughn. Children, please step back to the fence. Children out of the fence, please step back. Okay, get your pick 5 finishing before we start this next race. Captain Sidwell, Mark Malcolm, Charlesburg, Ohio. Nice round of applause for Mark Malcolm. 4th different feature winner in 4 weeks here at Midvale Speedway. To get your pick 5 finishing before we start this next sports stop feature. If you pick a bike correctly, I will come across the finish line with 1 through 5. You win $200. Starting on number 77 car, Bear Schwartz.
All right. Sports stock feature time. Number 77, Bear Schwartz. On the outside ahead, number 28, Mike Hines. Next row back, number 20, Gary Miser. Outside of him, 443, Ed McLean. Next row back, Rich Schweitzer. And 10 on the outside of him, 7 up, Tom Smith. Next row back, 32, Bill Bittiger. Outside of him, Mike Dawson at 88. Next row back will be number 66, Mark McGrath. Outside of him will be number 98, Wes Galbraith. Next row back is A.J. Diano in 36. On the outside of him is number 45, Ed Singhoff. Next row back, 670, Roger Lyon. Outside of him, number 24, Glenn Jewell. Next row back is Harold Cool in 6. And number 33, Gary Smith. Next row back, 55, Joe Knight. And 67, John Tenerelli. And Dawson all of a sudden pulls to scratch position. He must be having mechanical problems. He pulls up to scratch position. That'll definitely jostle the lineup. Change the lineup, so it'll be a lap.
Will hit pause, bud? Yeah, it's on.
All right, one more parade and we should be back to green. Ready for the start of this race. Bear Schwartz and Mike Hines will bring them in.
Okay, we're ready to go race. 20 laps of this. Sports stop feature. One minute in position being launched by the Redwood Brothers.
It's 20 laps they'll go. Eddie Warmack ready to give him the green. We got a green. Down the back straight, still Bear Schwartz and Mike Hines side by side. Schwartz, Mike Hines, Gary Miser, Mark McGrath going into the pits. Oh, David Hines going into the pits. Excuse me, Dave Hines going into the pits. Bear Schwartz, Gary Miser. Schweitzer, Bill Whitaker, Wes Galbraith, Farmer Smith, Mark McGrath, Ed Singhaus, Roger Leinert, A.J. Diano, Wes Joel. Gary Smith, Joe Nye, Ed McLean, and John Tenerelli, the field out there right now. Schweitzer, challenger for that second spot out of turn number 2. Bear Schwartz, Rich Schweitzer, Gary Miser, Wes Galbraith, Bill Whitaker, right in there. Bear Schwartz, Rich Schweitzer, 1-2. Trying to take over that third spot with Gary Miser. Rich Schweitzer into the lead. Schweitzer, 5 more laps. Mark McGrath now slides into that second spot. Wes Galbraith challenging Gary Miser. Gary Miser for third now. You got Rich Schweitzer way out in front. Then Mark McGrath, Wes Galbraith, Gary Miser hold down 4th spot. Bill Binniger 5th. Then Ed Singhorst, Harold Poole, Gary Smith just went sliding in the infield. Joe Nye gonna bring out a yellow flag. Yellow flag out.
Very, very comfortable lead to this real pace. Take a look at a little more as McGrath and Carver coming up further, coming up.
Okay, we gotta get a green this time by with Schweitzer, McGrath, Galbraith, Miser, Binniger right in there. We got a green. Mark McGrath, Wes Galbraith, Bill Binniger, Gary Miser in there. Harold Cole moving past Gary Miser now. White flag for Rich Schweitzer. Mark McGrath, Wes Galbraith, Bill Binniger, Harold Cole, Gary Miser, Ed Singhorst, Farmer Smith, Roger Leinert, A.J. Diano, Glenn Jewell, and then Ed McLean, I believe. Rich Schweitzer having a fine year.
Hey, buddy. Good.
I'll take your chair for this side. As soon as you go off, I'll take your main camera. Oh, okay.
Nice round of applause for Rick Schweitzer.
Goes all the way in.
Fourth stock feature. First win for Rick this year in 1988 season at Midvale. For Speedway, excuse me.
You want to shut off?
Don't forget, some people leaving. We'll be here again next Saturday night. We'll start qualifying at 5. Oh, there you go. 5:15 qualifying, and the racing at 7 o'clock for that 50 lap late model. You won't be here? I'll be looking for you. Remember, the late model next week, $1,000 to win, and $1,000 to win at Big 5 finisher next week.